Okay, so let's start right off the bat. So first of all, um, the very first sentence I think is worded pretty poorly. Um, like, I understand what you're trying to say, and you're trying to make it more personable, but please try to check our English as much as possible. Also, um, when we're talking about like parts here, you've got it in present day as well. Let's just focus on the two specific genres that we've got going on. Um, it's good that you have a description of what rondo form is, um, and it's pretty clear how you say it here. One thing though that I would say is this ABCA and this ABACAD is actually kind of a little bit similar. I think to show off a different style of rondo, I would write it more like A, B, A, C, A, B, A, because that's a little bit different form of rondo than what we've got going there. Or, there's hundreds and hundreds of different kinds. Definitely, big one. Does this mean that you don't have an example for the Baroque period? If so, you need to find one right away. So you start explaining the Egyptian section here. I would probably put that in its own paragraph, just to kind of make sense. And remember that the grader is not going to be listening to your music. So all of these timestamps don't mean anything. Instead, you need to transcribe it or break it up, show visualization so that people can see how it's going back, so that the graders can see how it's going back instead of having to listen through it. Stinks, but that's just the way that they're doing it. Also, I like the idea. I like how you show off that there's improvisation, and eventually you could talk about improvisation in between the two types of music, because actually there was a lot of improvisation in Baroque, which a lot of people don't look at. Yeah, so again, some of the wording in this probably could be worded a little bit better. Okay, so the second paragraph is definitely much more meaty, and you've got some really, really good stuff going on. One thing I would say right off the bat is be careful if we're going to be talking about Baroque. I think it has to either be capitalized all the way through, but just make sure. Also, definitely put a comma here, because the meaning is completely different. If you don't, it sounds like a secular party, which I'm not exactly sure what that is. I really, really like how you talk about how both like the common class and the secular class or the sacred class would be talking about how retreating back to the motif, but maybe we could word that to explain that it really is a rondo form all the way through. But especially this sentence here, I think, is great. However, if it is taken from some other work, we need to cite that work, and we need to make sure that we're citing it very clearly. In this case, you're using Henry Purcell as the version of the Baroque, so make sure that you add that into that top paragraph that you were talking up there that you just left blank. It's good to have some kind of history stuff here, but you might want to put it in the introduction section, or maybe not quite in the same spot that you had been putting it before. Let's see. So again, it's the same idea here. You've got all these timestamps, which is great if the readers were actually going to be listening to the music, but unfortunately they're not going to be listening to that music. So it needs to be written out in, or it needs to be transcribed out in Sibelius or however you're going to be writing it. This sentence is a sentence fragment, so be careful. Anyway, okay, we'll go on. Okay, so this last little part, you don't actually explain what A prime is before, so if you would If you're going to be talking about A prime, make sure that you explain what A prime means, because it's not the exact same thing as A. And yeah, this section here normally repeats the motif, so that's explaining the difference, but it doesn't explain what A prime is in by itself. And this part here, maybe expand on that idea. Like, if it's written, then it's not going to necessarily be improvisation, but I think I know what you're saying. Like, if it was played like that, would it have improvisation? Anyway, it's a good idea. There's a lot of good ideas going on here, but we definitely need visualizations, and we need to cite better overall. All right, thanks.